In almost every city in the world, there is a pattern that repeats itself. Bright signs, familiar logos, drive-through lanes filled at all hours of the day, and menus that look almost identical no matter where you go. It is fast food. And for most people, it feels simple, convenient, predictable, even harmless. But behind this system is something far more complex. Because fast food did not become one of the most powerful industries in the world by accident. It became that way through design, through psychology, through engineering, and through decades of refinement focused on one goal: to make people come back again and again. This is the fast food addiction machine. The rise of modern fast food. To understand how this system developed, it is important to go back to its origins. In the early 20th century, food preparation was still largely local. Meals were made at home. Restaurants were slower. And eating was a time-based experience. But as industrialization accelerated, everything began to change. Transportation improved. Cities expanded. And labor patterns shifted. People had less time. And more demand for convenience. This created the conditions for a new kind of food system. One built not around craftsmanship, but around speed and consistency. In the 1940s and 1950s, early fast food chains began to scale rapidly. They introduced a new idea: standardization. Every burger, every fry, every drink was designed to be identical across locations. This consistency created trust. Customers knew exactly what they would get. And predictability became part of the appeal. But something deeper was happening at the same time. Because standardization also allowed something else: optimization. Once food becomes standardized, it can be engineered. Not just cooked, but designed. The engineering of craving. Modern fast food is not just food. It is a carefully constructed sensory experience. Every element is designed with intention. Taste, texture, smell, temperature, even sound. All of it is calibrated. The goal is not nutrition. The goal is repeat consumption. And one of the most important discoveries in food science is something known as the bliss point. The bliss point refers to the exact combination of sugar, salt, and fat that produces maximum pleasure response in the brain. Too little, and the food feels bland. Too much, and it becomes overwhelming. But at the right balance, it becomes highly rewarding. This is where craving begins. Because the brain does not just respond to hunger. It responds to reward prediction. And when food consistently delivers a high reward response, it creates a learned behavior. A loop. A pattern. A return impulse. Why your brain responds to fast food. To understand why fast food is so effective, we need to understand how human reward systems work. The brain is designed to reinforce behaviors that improve survival. Historically, calorie-dense food was rare. So when it was found, the brain reinforced the behavior strongly. But modern environments have changed. Calorie-dense food is now everywhere. And yet the brain still responds as if it is rare. This creates a mismatch between biology and environment. Fast food takes advantage of this mismatch. It delivers high-calorie food in highly optimized forms. quickly, conveniently, and repeatedly. Each interaction reinforces the next. The role of sensory engineering beyond chemistry. Fast food also relies heavily on sensory manipulation. The smell of frying food is not accidental. It is designed to trigger appetite responses. The sound of sizzling or crunching food enhances perceived freshness. Packaging colors are chosen to increase visual stimulation. Red and yellow tones are frequently used because they are associated with urgency and appetite activation. Even the shape and texture of packaging matters. Everything is designed to make the food feel more desirable before it is even tasted. This is not just marketing. It is sensory engineering. Portion size and perception. One of the most subtle but powerful changes in the fast food industry has been portion size expansion. Over time, what was once considered a standard meal has gradually increased in size. Burgers have grown larger. Drinks have increased in volume. Side portions have expanded significantly. But this change did not happen abruptly. It happened slowly, over decades, which makes it difficult to notice in real time. This gradual shift affects perception, because people adapt to new standards without realizing they are changing. What once felt large becomes normal. What once felt normal becomes small. This process is known as normalization, and it plays a key role in consumption behavior. Drive-thru culture and behavior design. The introduction of the drive-thru fundamentally changed eating behavior. It removed friction. No parking. No walking. No waiting inside. No social interaction required. Just ordering, paying, and receiving food instantly. This design change is critical, because reducing friction increases frequency, and increasing frequency increases habit formation. Fast food became not just a place to eat, but a behavioral shortcut. A response to hunger that requires minimal decision-making. Marketing to emotion, not hunger. Fast food advertising does not primarily target hunger. It targets emotion, comfort, nostalgia, reward, stress relief, social belonging. Advertisements often show families laughing, friends sharing meals, people celebrating moments of happiness. The message is not, "You're hungry." The message is, "This will make you feel better." This emotional framing is powerful, because it connects food consumption to psychological states, not physical needs. The childhood impact. One of the most important aspects of fast food marketing is its early exposure to children. From a young age, children are introduced to branded meals. Toys included in packaging. Colorful advertising. Cartoon mascots. And emotionally positive associations. This creates early behavioral imprinting, long before dietary habits are consciously formed. By adulthood, these associations are already deeply embedded, and they influence lifelong preferences. Why willpower is not the full story. A common assumption is that eating behavior is purely a matter of self-control. But this perspective ignores environmental design. Because fast food consumption is not just about individual choice. It is about constant exposure to engineered stimuli. Availability, affordability, marketing, convenience, and emotional conditioning. When all of these factors combine, behavior becomes predictable, not random, and not purely willpower-based. The economics of fast food operates on a high-volume, low-margin model. Profit is not derived from individual meals. It is derived from scale. Repeat customers are essential, which means the entire system is optimized for retention, not one-time purchases. This creates strong incentives to maximize craving response and to minimize barriers to return visits. The business model depends on frequency, not just consumption. The global expansion: as fast food chains expanded globally, the model remained consistent. Standardized menus, centralized supply chains, highly optimized preparation systems, and aggressive localization of marketing. In many countries, fast food became a symbol of modernity, convenience, and economic development. But it also introduced new dietary patterns that shifted consumption away from traditional food systems and toward processed, high-calorie meals. Health impacts and modern consequences: over time, public health researchers began to observe patterns. Increased calorie consumption, rising obesity rates, higher prevalence of metabolic conditions, and changes in dietary behavior across populations. These trends are complex and influenced by multiple factors. But food environment plays a significant role. Because when the easiest option is also the most engineered for craving, behavior tends to follow accessibility. The system versus the individual: one of the most important questions in this discussion is responsibility. Is fast food consumption purely an individual choice? Or is it shaped by environment, design, and accessibility? The answer is not simple, because both factors exist simultaneously. Individuals make choices, but those choices are made within systems, and those systems are designed with incentives that influence behavior. Why fast food is hard to avoid: fast food is not just widespread. It is integrated into daily infrastructure. Highways, urban centers, suburban neighborhoods, shopping districts, airports, hospitals, schools. It is everywhere. This level of accessibility creates habitual exposure, and habitual exposure shapes consumption patterns over time. The future of food system design: looking forward, food systems are becoming even more engineered. Delivery apps, personalized recommendations, AI-driven marketing, and algorithmic promotions are increasingly shaping what people eat. Convenience continues to increase, and friction continues to decrease, which means consumption behavior may become even more predictable in the future. Conclusion: fast food is often viewed as a simple convenience, but beneath that surface lies a highly optimized system, built around psychology, built around sensory engineering, and built around behavioral repetition. It is not just about eating. It is about patterns, habits, and reinforcement loops. For some people, it is occasional convenience. For others, it becomes routine. And for some, it becomes deeply embedded behavior that is difficult to change. Because the fast food system was not designed only to feed people. It was designed to be returned to, again and again. And in that design lies its true power.